the addiction kasi, it's the feeling. We're run by our bodies and we're run by our feelings, but our feelings aren't always correct. So, that's not real love. That's not what I'm really looking for. Hinahanap ko lang is the feeling and the release. Pero, when I started thinking about it, who can give me love? Who can give me peace? And who can give me validation? It's only Jesus Christ.
Wala nang iba.
Welcome to Against the Flow, the podcast with Jordan.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to ATF, the podcast with me, Jordan. And our next guest is already right here. Wala nang intro masyado, no? Because we're gonna find out more about him. He has just been to our men's conference at nakaka-bless talaga itong taon na to. So I said, I gotta have him on the podcast. Just a little short, siguro. He's a father, a husband. He's also the brand ambassador of ABS-CBN Foundation and a board member of many other organizations. So here he is. Please welcome Kuya Ernie Lopez.
Salamat, Pastor Jordan.
I can call you Kuya, right?
Yeah, the churches I started, that's what they called me.
Okay, Kuya Ernie. And I'm glad that I could call you Kuya because I've grown quite close to you now. I came across him many times in the past, actually. But you were from a distance, and so I said, okay, one of these days, I will meet Kuya Ernie. And 2 years ago, he was a speaker at men's conference, and I heard his testimony, and I said, Lord, can I please have this guy to our men's conference naman? And last year, hindi natuloy, but this year natuloy, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for inviting me.
And so when I met you, I was praying that I would get the opportunity. He was getting mobbed by the men in the men's conference. Picture here, selfie here. And I said, okay, I'm waiting my turn. And then finally, like the Red Sea, the Lord made a way and I went straight to you. And I won't forget that kasi medyo kenko yung moment na yun. Because Kuya Ernie is only like the second guy I know who is kind of older than me and more techie than me. So I asked for his contact. And he gives me this card. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's this nice card? I thought he's going to give it to me. But I'm like, this is too nice to be given. Because it's like a credit card or something.
QR code lang.
Yung pala, it's a QR code thingy. So, I should have one of those.
It's easier. You don't run out of
Yes,
cards.
exactly. And one time I froze trying to get the contact of another guest I had here in the past. I'm like, how do you do this again? And he thought I forgot his number. Shout outs to Doug Kramer. Anyways, Kuya Ernie, sabihin ko lang mabilis, ito pa, it's an honor to have you here kasi you're one of those kuyas or even titos that I look up to. And I say to myself, when I get this age, I want to be this young. Do you mind telling everyone your age?
I'm 61 years old,
No
born
way.
in 1964.
You're like 1 year, 2 years younger than Tito Gary Valenciano.
Okay.
And both of you...
He's older pa than me.
I think so, yeah. Because
No. We're about the same age.
The same?
Yeah, we're about the same. I might be older than him by a few months.
Tawagan natin.
Well, I think I'm older than him by a few
You are?
months.
Okay, sige. We'll confirm that later, Tito Gary. But he's also very active and I biked with him. You go biking too, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna bike too also.
So you mountain bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
So watch out for a vlog. We went to Tagaytay. But we were on the e-bikes. I mean,
Okay.
You need the assist feature, but no throttle, But still, that was a fun ride. I love that.
Oh, you have an e-bike?
I had to borrow one.
Okay.
Because those things are expensive. So during that time, Tito Gary had his, and I had a friend who kept his at my cousin's. And he said, you can use it if ever Gary Valenciano asks you to ride with him. Yeah, because I need that pure energy. Hindi na ako natulog nung gabi na yon. Sobrang excited. Butin lang may electricity. Patulungan ako. But you do a lot of, you also do mountain climbing, rock climbing, am I right?
I do a lot of sports. Like, I don't do all, hindi lahat ginagawa ko ngayon, pero nasa scuba dive ako. I used to have a show called Wreck Hunters. It's still on YouTube, I think, or on I Want TV. So I used to do technical diving, and then skydiving, rock climbing, mountain climbing, tennis, squash, badminton.
Everything. Basta papawisan.
Yeah.
So, let's get to your testimony, Kuya Ernie. Kasi nga, I want you to be able to tell the audience, what is your story like? I mean, I heard it many times already. But can you tell our audience, kasi now, of course, you're a brother in Christ. But who was Kuya Ernie before this?
Well, nakilala ko si Lord mga 17 years old. Nag-aaral ako sa Connecticut College. Pero hindi ako yung likely na masyasharean mo kasi usually yung mga sinasharean mo, daming bisyo, ang daming kaya kailangan niya si Lord. Pero ako, Katoliko, up to now, I still consider myself Catholic. Pero nagsisimba naman ako on Sundays, tapos wala naman akong bisyo, hindi ako nagiinom, hindi ako nagda-drugs, wala talaga akong bisyo. Ang hilig ko lang talaga mula ng bata ako, sports lang talaga. So dati panay tennis, panay squash, addict ako, mga 3-4 hours a day nagta-tennis ako.
Buti na lang wala pang gadget nun.
wala. May mga video game pero hindi tulad ng video game ngayon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yung family ko lumipat sa States noong mga 1977 kasi yung tatay ko, medyo mahabang kwento, yung tatay ko tumakas sa bilangguan. Kinulong siya ng mga 5 years kasi binintangan siya na papatayin daw niya yung presidente. So, kinulong siya. Di naman totoo.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, nung tumakas siya, there's a movie called Escapo.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the movie on I Want TV.
I think I watched that.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, lumipat kami sa San Francisco. So, nung mga 1997. Nung 1981, nag-aaral ako sa Connecticut College. May lumapit sa akin na puti. Siyempre, puti naman lahat ng tao doon. Sinabi niya sa akin, binasahan niya ako ng Bible verse na sabi niya, unless a man is born again, he shall not see the kingdom of God. Sabi ni Jesus kay Nicodemus. So sabi niya sa akin, born again ka ba? Sabi ko, hindi ko nga alam kung anong born again. Tapos, syempre hindi, kasi hindi ko nga alam kung ano yun. Tapos sinera niya ako, paano maging born again. Yung pagsisihan ko lang yung kasalanan ko, suko ko yung buhay ko kay Lord, tapos pagtiwalaan ko si Lord na siya magpapatawad ng kasalanan ko, na binayaran niya lahat ng kasalanan ko. So, pumayag naman ako. Sabi ko, sige, pray ka kasama ko. So, nag-pray ako kasama niya. Tapos siguro, I don't know how many days after, sabi niya, gusto mo mabinyag? Sabi niya, nabinyag na ako ng bata ko. Hindi, kailangan mabinyag ka uli kasi
You must be baptized again.
Yung may conscious decision ka.
Yes.
Parang kasal, di ba? Wala namang kinakasal na bata.
Mm-mm.
Dapat. Kinakasal ka pag may malay ka na. So sabi niya ngayon, parang kinakasal ka na ngayon kay Lord. So, bininyagan niya ako sa CR, sa bathtub.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of urgent. That's why I always wanted to get one of those tubs para sa church namin. Para hindi na naghihintay ng outing. Kasi nga parang when a person receives the Lord, parang in the Bible, talagang what's to follow afterwards is
Binyag
the
na.
ritual, the baptism. So you went straight to, or a few moments sometime
Kasi a
later.
few days, hindi ko na matandaan eh. Tagal na nun, 81 eh. So,
I was 1.
So, yan, tinanggap ko si Lord. Tapos, umattend ako sa church nila. Yung church nila, nasa sinagoga. Kasi yung synagogue ginagamit pag Sabado. Sa Sunday, wala gumagamit. So, yan, dun yung church. So, at nag-attend ako ng church dun. Pero medyo magulo ako psychologically, mentally, and emotionally during that time. At parang hindi ako masyadong, tinanggap ko nga si Lord, pero magulo pa rin yung buhay ko. So, hindi na ako nagtapos dun sa Connecticut College. I dropped out like second semester. Kasi pagbalik ko sa California, I found a Filipino church there, Church of the Open Door, simbahan ng bukas na pinto. At nag-attend ako dun. At medyo fundamentalist sila noon. Di na sila ganun ngayon. Okay na sila ngayon. You know, they've mellowed out. Pero back then, medyo very, very hardcore. So yung preaching nun, sinasabi nila sa akin na kailangan share mo yung gospel sa lahat ng tao. Tama. So ginagawa ko yan. Kahit sumakay sa bus, kahit sinong makita ko doon. Yung mga hinahanap namin Pinoy eh. So may makita kong Pinoy doon, share ka agad. So anyway, after that, na-born again ako. I went to that church. Sabi ng church, share the gospel. So I shared the gospel. Pero sabi nila, alam mo kung hindi mo na-share yung gospel sa pamilya mo, at namatay sila, impyerno yan. Sabi ko. Tsaka kasalanan mo yan pag hindi nila tinanggap yung Panginoon. So sabi ko, wow, grabe, stress na stress ako kasi hindi nakikinig yung pamilya ko. So, hirap na hirap ako mag-shares kanila. 17 years old lang ako. Parang sino ba ako na pakikinggan nila ako. Gusto ko sila dalhin sa church, convert sila. Pero, di sila open at that time. So sabi ko lang, so yung isip ko parang bumigay. Sabi ko, hindi ko matanggap na ang pamilya ko mapupunta sa impyerno. Hindi ko inisip na I can just trust God and wait and pray for them na ang Diyos ang kikilo sa buhay nila in His own time, in His own way. Na I don't have to worry. So, ang nangyari, bumigay yung isip ko, yung instead of, dahil yung reality ko, hindi ko matanggap, bumigay, nag-invento ako ng sarili kong reality. So, nag-pretend na lang ako na lahat sila born again na, pero nagkukunwari lang sila dahil sinusubukan nila ako. So grabe.
Para kang anak ng Fantastic Four. I forgot his name. What is the baby?
See, there's Reed Richards, Johnny Storm.
The kid, the baby.
Yung baby! Oo nga, no, nung nanganak. I don't know the name of the baby also.
Pero yun yung power niya. Or is it Doctor Strange? Anyways.
No, baka Doctor Strange.
Yung pwede siyang gumawa ng mga... Well, universe kasi yung ginagawa na. Hindi ka gumawa ng universe. Gumawa ka ng reality.
So, gumawa ka ng sarili kong reality. So, ang labo ng ginagawa ko. Ang dami ko na-memorize na Bible verse, ina-apply ko talagang literal. Like, nakalagay, pray in your closet. So, papasok ako sa closet, doon ako nagpa-pray.
That was my sermon yesterday. Na wag niyong gawin, hindi niyo kailangan gawin yun.
Or si Jesus would eat bread and wine. Yan lang kinakain ko. I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't sleep kasi si Jesus buong gabi, di natutulog, nagpa-pray siya. So I would do that. So I wasn't eating or sleeping properly anymore. Kaya ang labo ng mga pag-iisip ko. And yung streetcar tunnel nga sa San Francisco, pinapasukan ko. And then, pag dadaan yung streetcar, tatabi lang ako. Tapos, nagkukota ko ng Bible verse. They have eyes, but they do not see. They didn't see me. And then, one time, nasa, I don't know if it was a streetcar or a bus. Di ba may Bible verse na nakalagay, be hospitable to Hebrews, be hospitable to strangers, for some have entertained angels without knowing it. So, kinaibigan ko isang tao, tapos kinakausap ko, tapos sabi ko sa kanya, are you an angel? Tapos sabi niya, no, I'm not. And then, I kept on, no, you're an angel. I said, you're crazy, stay away from me. Sinundan ko siya, hanggang sa trabaho niya. Tapos, sinabihan lang niya yung gwardiya, don't let him in, he's crazy. So, marami akong ginagawang kalokohan na ganun, kasi bumigay ng isip ko eh. And eventually, I ended up in a mental hospital. The Langley Porter Psychiatric Institute in San Francisco. Dahil pinasok na ako ng magulang ko dun kasi nagwawala na talaga ako eh. And I even became violent at one point. I smashed a knife in the kitchen. Lumipad yung mga tiles. So they put me in a locked door unit in Langley Porter at naka-straight jacket ako. So, not many people have experienced that. Nakasuot ng straight jacket.
Can't imagine.
And then I was there in the psychiatric ward. May kasama ko dun na itim. I'm not racist kaya I love black people. They're good. I have good friends who are black. Pero this guy was a black guy na ang laki ng katawan. nasiraan ng bait, pero martial artist.
Oh no.
So, nakakatakot kasi minsan narinig ko siya nagwawala. Mabuti na lang, yung ibang nurse dun, malalaki rin ang katawan nila. Marunong din sila ng martial art. Kasi yung lalaki na to, kung tama yung pag-alala ko sa pangalan niya, si Terry, narinig na lang namin nagwawala, naghahampas ng pader, naghahampas ng pintuan, sumisigaw, talagang nagwawala. Kung hindi nandyan yung mga nurse na yun, wala. Talagang it would have been an unsafe place. But yung kasama ko sa may circle time kami, parang small group. Nag-circle time kami. Tapos lahat ng kasama ko doon, sira ulo din. Nagsa-circle time kami ng sira ulo. Yung isang kasama namin dyan, itim din siya. Akala niya si Santa Claus siya. So,
Ka-pressure naman, so you have to tell them your side, your story naman.
I don't even remember anymore kung anong sinabi ko. Basta, over time, binigyan ako ng gamot na sedatives na sobrang lakas na akala ko mamamatay na ako. I don't know if you heard that part of the story, if I shared that. Akala ko mamamatay talaga ako kasi nung binigay yung sedative sa akin, pang puti, pang malaking puting tao, small Asian man lang ako. So, yung system ko, nagsha-shutdown na. Hindi na ako makahinga. Nakaka-inhale na lang ako. Hindi ako maka-exhale. Like,
hirap pa.
akala ko nakadapa na ako. Tapos, buti na lang may tumingin nasa padded cell kasi ako, pero walang pads. May nakatingin sa bintana at nakita na hindi na ako gumagalaw. So, pumasok sila kagad, binaba yung pantalan ko, in-injection. Palagay ko, adrenaline ang tinira sa puwit ko. Kasi unti-unti nakakahinga na ako. Kasi akala ko, sabi ko, Lord, malapit na tayo magkita. Akala mamatay na talaga ako. Pero, thank God, someone saw me at the right time. And I recovered. And I was in that psychiatric ward mga 1 month. Pero it felt like years. Kasi, hindi ko alam yung pangalan ko. Tatanungin, anong pangalan mo? Hindi ko alam. Yung pangalan ko alam ko, pero tanungin ako anong araw, hindi ko alam. Anong oras, hindi ko alam. Tapos, kung maglakad ako, para akong zombie. Alam yung mga zombies sa movies, ganun maglakad, hindi nagbo-move ng arms. Ganun ako maglakad. Kasi, I had to learn how to swing my arms again. Nung binabaan na nila yung dosage ko, unti-unti, nakakaisip na ako, nakakaswing na rin ako ng arms.
Wow.
But I was in there for a month and it took about another 6 months bago luminaw na yung isip ko. I had to go through psychotherapy and psychiatry para luminaw yung isip ko.
You know, you remind me of Patch Adams. So
Why with the red nose?
Well, it's if you don't know, there's a movie about this doctor.
Robin Williams.
Before he became, a full doctor. I mean, the reason I think he became a doctor is because he came from a ward and he saw that the treatment of the patients wasn't effective or something like that. And so finally he wanted to be a doctor. So he experienced what it was like to be a patient before he can be the wounded healer or somebody who would go out and help somebody. So I didn't know about that. I didn't hear that in the stories back then. So I'm getting an extended DVD version over here of Kuya Ernie. And so after this period of time, you also mentioned that you had other addictions that you went through.
Well, even though tinanggap ko na si Lord and I was following Him, I still had an addiction to pornography. That was really my biggest sin before I started following the Lord. Of course, actually, that's not true. Just not loving the Lord is already the biggest sin.
Yeah.
But, in the eyes of the world, in my own eyes, ang malaking kasalanan ko is pornography. And I've been addicted to it ever since I was, 11 years old.
And coming from, I cannot imagine coming from the TV industry, the entertainment industry, how that struggle must have been magnified for someone like you who has more access or probably
back then, when I was 13, when I was 13, 1977. So 1975, I was 11. That's when I discovered pornography. I was 11, but there wasn't much there's no video pornography. It was all magazines.
Magazines, yeah. That's yun yung naabutan ko din na in my young age. It was the magazines and the VHS tapes.
Wala pang
internet.
tape nun. When I was 13, that's when I already discovered all this pornography on videotapes that made it even worse. But I was totally addicted to pornography. And even as I started following the Lord, it was a struggle. And ups and downs. And that's basically why I stopped following the Lord for 19 years. Kasi when I first gave my life to the Lord, 17, I started planting churches. Nagplant ako ng church sa... First church we planted was... Yung church in San Francisco sent me to Leyte, probinsya ng katulong ko. Plant kami ng isang church doon. Tapos pumunta kami Pangasinan, San Carlos, Pangasinan. Tapos that was in 1984. Bumalik ako ng States. Noong 1985, pinadala naman ako sa Bicol. Nagplant kami ng church sa Naga. They just had their 40-year anniversary this year. So happy na nakadalaw doon. Tapos noong 1986, nagplant kami ng church sa Cubao. And then, noong 1986, I stayed na in Manila. Umuwi na yung pamilya ko galing sa States. Nung nag-People Power, umuwi na kami. Umuwi na yung pamilya ko, so nagstay na rin ako. So, never ako na-ordain na sa pastor, pero ako yung nagle-lead ng church. So, tawag lang nila sa akin, Kuya Ernie.
Yeah, I mean, the Bible does say do the work of an evangelist, and it didn't say that you have to be a pastor to do that. So that's what I see you doing. It's like, sometimes may plus nga yung wala kang pastor title because you blend in perfectly, or it's like you're really just there, and then yun nga, you're doing the work. Kasi may mga tao naman na may repellent sila sa pastor or allergic sila.
Takot sila.
So ikaw, parang kang insider, parang asset.
Lahat ng mga na-train ko, halos lahat kanila na pastor na sila ngayon.
Yeah. See? So parang, is there ever a time where you think God will just say, you know what, you're already there? Or you just have this special secret agent calling?
Well,
not really a secret though.
The guys I trained were pastors. Some are full-time pastors, some are not full-time. Like some are school teachers, some are iba-iba. Some of them are really full-time pastors. But nung, di ba, I started following the Lord 1981 to about 1991. But nung 1992 nga, I wanted to, this is a long way to answer your question. But I would preach every Sunday. May dinidisciple ako. May Bible study kong tao during the week. Pero hiyang-hiya na ako kay Lord at hiyang-hiya na ako sa sarili ko. Na plastic ako kasi I'm still looking at pornography.
Yeah.
Still addicted to it. So, super discouraged na ako. At hindi ko ma-share sa mga dinidisciple ko kasi natatakot ako. If I tell them my weakness, baka mahawa. Baka, ginagawa niya. Gawin na rin natin. And I didn't want them to do that. Pero in retrospect, sana I just told them. I told them, pagdasal niyo ako. Para alam nila, tao lang ko. Diba? I'm just like anybody else. I have problems and struggles like you. Please pray for me. But during that time, yung mga nag-train sa akin, they never were open to me about their struggles or weaknesses. So I thought they were perfect. So nung nagtatrain ako, hindi ko rin sinasabi sa kanila yung mga weaknesses ko.
So that did not cure your addiction to pornography, yung pagiging ganyan na, okay, Bible lang, walang sharean, walang pray for my weakness. So when was it, Kuya Ernie, that, you overcame this struggle?
It took decades because, I know it won't take decades for other people. Pero sa akin kasi, dahil tinatago ko, nag-share ako minsan sa mga other missionaries or other... The navigators were helping to help me. They were training me. So there were some Christians older than me. And nasi-share ko. Pero minsan nahihiya na ako. I didn't want to share anymore because I was so ashamed and embarrassed about myself. Dahil sa kahinaan ko. So I just gave up. I said, ayoko na sumunod kay Lord. Ang hirap. 17 ako nung sumunod ako kay Lord. 27 years old na ako. Virgin pa ako.
Yeah. So,
kahinaan ko was pornography.
So, I was saying, parang, anong epekto ng isang taong addicted sa porn And then at the same time, parang a virgin pa siya. So parang,
Lalo.
I mean, I would be surprised na 27 ka pa na nawalan yung virginity. But at the same time, for someone who is addicted to it, parang the chances of them getting de-virginized because of their addiction to it, or parang, is that what kept you?
When I was 27 nga, I said, it's so hard to follow the Lord. Ayoko na maging plastic. Ayoko na maging hipokrito. So I said, I quit. So I called up the church. I called up I called up Ferdy. He was the janitor. And then sabi ko, hindi na ako babalik. Ikaw na mag-preach ng message na hinanda ko.
Yung janitor.
Yung janitor. So siya mag-preach. He's the senior pastor now. Tapos nag-graduate siya sa Asian Theological Seminary.
Wow.
The school has the church is in the church has a school in it now. Na they get students from the surrounding neighborhood. So that's how he earns his income, his salary, because his wife runs the school. That
is so amazing. I just want to say for pastors even listening, what I'm getting from this is we are not irreplaceable. A janitor can replace you anytime. Just in case, kasi I know how pastors think. They're like, I have to be super for these people, so I can't show any weakness. And so they're like, I can't quit like you did, because if I quit, kawawa naman sila. But you see here how easy it is to be replaced, or someone, God can use anybody, and it doesn't have to be you. So in a way, ang galing pa rin ng ginawa ng Lord na yung hindi na pabayaan yung ministry.
Mas magaling sila kaysa sa akin. He didn't become the pastor right away. There were some others sa church na mas senior sa kanya, but over time, siya yung naging pastor, siya nag-seminary.
So we should not think, I'm trying to say is, we should not think of ourselves as pastors or even servants as super special na kapag tayo ay, may struggle, parang nagigets ko yung parang naging struggle mo din. You had this struggle with sin, and you had this struggle with magpapatuloy pa ba ako sa ministry? Hipokrito ako. Di ba? Pero at the same time, may mga tao naman, you would understand siguro, in a sense, kung bakit sila ganon, na hypocrite talaga yung nangyari. Kasi nga, feeling nila, halimbawa yung mga pastor ng mega churches na ang dami na palang mga scandals. They feel like, Lord, pag sinabi ko yan or pag naano ako, then paano to mawawala? Parang ganon. But at the same time, God is dealing with Kuya Ernie, and God is dealing with the church. So you're not tied to the ministry, and God will do things. So Kuya Ernie, I mean, the recommendation is give up the sin. You repent, di ba? Easier said than done.
Well, I would recommend na you get a small group of friends na you trust, and gawin mong accountability partner. Kahit madapa ka araw-araw, just share it and say it. Kasi
so what finally did it for you? I mean, decades.
Well, so nung tumalikod ako kay Lord, lahat ng mga hindi ko ginagawa dati, ginawa ko na. Lahat ng kasalanan na pwede kong gawin. I tried to get in bed with as many women as I could, as often as I could. I wasn't so successful though, even there. Buti na lang.
I feel like that. I mean, I have a story like that when I was a Christian. Like, di pa ako nakakilala sa Lord, pero I tried, like he says. But I think I was so ugly inside out. But then, nagulat ako nung umuwi ako sa Pilipinas. Ito, not to...
Dito, gwapo ka.
We call it the Jesus glow. Parang binago ka ng Lord eh. Kasi in the past, wala talaga nagkakagusto sa akin. Nung naging Christian ako, nagulat ako. So, I could only conclude, hindi ako ang nakikita nila, si Lord. Di ba? That's it. Pero, praise God, nung time naman na nagustuhan ako ng girls, I was not after them anymore.
Oh, that's good.
So thank God for that. Even up to today, yeah. So Kuya Ernie, if you could tell people out there your remedy secret to overcoming pornography, yung small group, and then
it took time, and it took. I had to understand. Iniisip ko talaga, bakit ako ganito? 'Di ba? Parang 19 years ako nawala kay Lord, 'di ba? So I'm like, I would masturbate, I would go out with women, I would do all these things. But then, even then, I wasn't happy about it.
Yes.
Even though I wasn't following the Lord, I got married, and I said, I'm married and I'm still looking at pornography. I'm still masturbating. I said, what's wrong with me? When I came back to the Lord after mga 18, 19 years, so I said, okay, I want to follow the Lord, but I still have this struggle. It's still there. So iniisip ko, I said, I had to, it took time. And I said, when I look at pornography, di ba, you look at pretty women. Why would you look at an ugly woman? Di ba? Why? You look at pretty women kasi that's the fantasy. Nag-imagine ka that pretty woman likes you or that pretty woman is doing it with you. And why do you want a pretty woman to be doing it with you? It's for validation. Kasi pag naglalakad ka sa mall, gusto mo bang kaakbay mo pangit o maganda? Eh syempre maganda. Kasi why? Pogi points. It's validation. Pag may kaakbay ako magandang babae, that means, oh, she must see something in me. There must be something about me na, kasi pwede naman kahit sinong lalaki, pwede niyang samahan. Akong sinamahan ng magandang babae na to. Or like, you're in a nice car, a beautiful car. You want to be in a nice car. Why? Kasi there's something about you. You have the money to afford a nice car. So, I started to realize, ang hinahanap ko talaga is pogi points. I'm looking for validation. And whenever I look at pornography, kasi I would use pornography for everything. Malungkot ako, porn. Masaya ako, porn. Bored ako, porn. Pagod ako, porn. It was like my God. It was my answer for everything.
But it never satisfied.
I always felt lousy afterwards.
Yes,
I mean,
no one feels good about any addiction. No,
it gives me a release. It makes me feel good for a little while, but afterwards, I'd always feel lousy. So when I started thinking, so why do I keep on doing this thing that makes me feel lousy? It's that feeling of I associated an orgasm with the feeling of love, with the feeling of comfort, with the feeling of peace. But it wasn't it. It's just, it's like drugs. It gives you a momentary escape, gives you a momentary feeling, but it's not real. Because it's not being used the way it's supposed to be used.
Yeah.
Sex is a beautiful thing. Having an orgasm is a beautiful thing. But if you don't use it the right way, it's like drugs, right? If you use drugs in a hospital, it's good for you. There's a prescription, there's a doctor, it can heal you. But you use drugs, you abuse it, it destroys you.
It'll kill you. Yeah.
So I feel that sex is very much like a drug. If you use it properly, it's good for you. It's good in the context of marriage with your wife. But if you do it outside of that, it can really destroy you. It's not good for you.
So mga kabataan dyan, okay, alam nyo, Kuya Ernie, yung salitang bembang, nung time natin, it's not the same anymore. So, mga kabataan ngayon ng bembangan, take it from Kuya Ernie. Doing sex.
Sex,
That's
bembang.
the term. Yeah, that's why we have to be careful.
Bembang.
Dati bembangan kita dyan. Parang, iba, ano yan kita dyan? Ngayon, parang makasuhan ka. But I always tell the young people, you're not gonna get validation from that or satisfaction. So stop doing it because, anything outside of God's instruction may lead to our destruction. And the way I'm saying your testimony, Kuya Ernie, there's a lot of people like that who can relate na how I follow God pero meron pa rin ako struggle. Pero siguro ang parang mistake dito and the deception is if I leave God and total di ko naman mag-give up mga to, mag full blast na lang ako dito. Siguro I'll be happy. Pero hindi, you became worse or more miserable.
Tumalikod ako kay Lord ng mga 19 years. So
that's a long time.
Ginawa ko lahat ng sex na pwede kong gawin. Nagtayo pa ako ng magazine, Maxim Magazine.
He's the guy behind that.
For a pornography magazine, ako pa nagtayo, But I was already married then, so even though hindi na ako sumusunod kay Lord, I really respect marriage. And I didn't want to cheat on my wife, so I never went to any of the shoots. Even though, I had that magazine.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, that's one of my questions, Kuya Ernie. Like, it must have been such a struggle for you. Well, that magazine, for one, and secondly, surrounded by so many beautiful women in the showbiz.
Well, when I went back to the Lord, and for one thing is, kahit na hindi ako sumusunod kay Lord, I really respect marriage. I mean, sa akin, marriage commitment, hindi mo pwede ano yun. Kasi nakita ko yung nangyari sa nanay ko when my father cheated on her. In the beginning, he was unfaithful to her when they first got married. Kaya sabi nila, ibig sabihin ng ABS-CBN, alak babae, sugal, cabaret bar, nightclub.
No, I never heard that.
It actually means Alto Broadcasting Station, Chronicle Broadcasting Network.
Okay.
But back then, kasi yung lifestyle ng mga executives, alak, babae, sugal, cabaret bar, nightclub. So, my mom wanted to leave my dad. He said, ano ba to? But the priest at that time told him, no, you can't. So, galit na galit yung mami ko. So, she just did sports. But after he was in jail for 5 years and 9 years na sa state siya, he was faithful to her, and they went to Couples for Christ, Marriage Encounter, Life in the Spirit seminars, and he became everything my mom wanted. Nagbabasa na siya ng Bible, may close relationship na siya kay Lord. So, tuwang-tuwa yung nanay ko. Kaso, after being married for 40 years, bumalik na ang dad ko dito sa Pilipinas, tinayo niya uli yung ABS-CBN, dumami yung tukso.
Mm-mm.
At may nakilala siyang babae, kamukhang-kamukha ng nanay ko, nung bata pa nanay ko. He had an affair.
Mm-mm.
It broke my mom's heart. When I saw what happened to my mom, gusto magpakamatay yung nanay ko. I said, I cannot do that to another human being.
Mm-mm.
Hindi ko pwede. Parang, if I cheat on my wife, parang ginagawa ko rin yung ginawa ng tatay ko sa nanay ko.
Mm-mm.
Parang hindi tama yun.
Mm-mm.
I couldn't put another human being through that pain. So even though I wasn't following the Lord, I said, I'm not gonna.
Do it like
There's
that.
a lot of temptation, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, kasi a lot of boys, I'll say boys, would be dreaming to be in your position for a TV network with so many women.
After I started, when I went back to the Lord, after 19 years, bumalik ako kay Lord, I made rules for myself to protect me. Kasi there's so much nga temptation. So, yung at the time, si Mariol was the one running Star Magic, the talent center of ABS. Sabi nga ng mga kaibigan ko, pare, wala kang ginalaw dyan sa mga artista na yan, wala kang tinitira. Parang kung ako nasa pwesto mo,
exactly.
tirahin ko lahat yan, di ba? You're separated from your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Libre ka na, you can just do it, di ba?
Open season.
Open season. Pero sabi ko, parang hindi ata tama to, So, I had a rule for myself. I said, number 1, hindi ako pwede pumasok sa kotse, sa restaurant, sa kwarto. I can't go anywhere. I can't watch a movie with another girl one-on-one.
Who is not your spouse.
Na hindi ko asawa.
And even as a single, young men out there, take note, who is not my spouse. Your girlfriend is not your spouse.
Yeah.
And
delikado eh.
Yeah.
So, the head of Star Magic, Mariol, inaalok nga niya ako. Sabi niya, Ernie, sino gusto mo i-date?
oh my.
Kahit sino dito gusto mo i-date. Gusto mo ng Christian? May Christian din kami. So parang, strike anywhere. But I said, kakahiwalay ko lang sa
Christian
asawa ko.
Bugaw.
Kakahiwalay ko lang sa asawa ko.
Evangeligaw, pwede rin.
And I would meet so many, I go to church, I'd meet so many girls na Christian, na magaganda, ang babait. I said, wow. But number 1, I said, I'm still married. Number 2, kahit nahiwalay ako, gugustuhin ko ba na ang anak ko magde-date sa lalaki na may asawa? O kahit nahiwalay sa asawa niya, gugustuhin ko ba yan para sa anak ko? Parang hindi. Ang dami-daming lalaki pwede mong i-date. Bakit ka pa magde-date ng may asawa? Na kahit nahiwalay na.
Mm-mm.
Find someone else. Diba? So, I said, if I don't want that for my daughter, bakit ko gagawin yan sa daughter ng ibang tao?
Exactly.
Diba?
So grabe, binigyan ka ng Lord ng mindset. I mean, this is also something I talk with my wife with. I'm like, if I'm not a Christian, there's at least this human side of me that is thinking like this. But I think God is, a part of that. Because there's nothing good in us talaga that we can produce from my own.
So, yeah, don't go any place without with ano, it's always a group. So whenever I was if I was with a girl, it was always
A group. Okay.
Always a group.
Have you
So-
ever watched Old Fashioned, the movie? Okay, I'll recommend it. You remind
Sige.
me of Clay, the lead character from there. He has rules like that.
But those rules helped me because
Yeah, definitely.
it kept me, away from temptation. So mga 8 years, I had no girlfriend for 8 years.
Yeah, because I can imagine, like, you already know, you've seen devastation in your life or for your family, and even personally. But people don't think this enough. When you do that with other people, you are also creating this ripple effect where their lives will be miserable like you. I mean, sariliin lang natin kung if you're gonna be miserable, ba't nandadamay pa tayo? Diba?
So I said I have to focus on my children. Di naman nila kasalanan, naghiwalay ako sa asawa ko, my first wife. So I wanted to focus on them. Tsaka traumatized din ako. Parang sabi ko, if you date someone, they'll put their best foot forward. Siyempre, even me, I'll put my best foot forward. Then later on, you get to know each other, ang lalabo pala ninyo. then you marry them and it's too late.
Yeah.
So I said, I was so traumatized. Sabi ko, I really didn't want to date. I just used the excuse na I'm still married, I can't, which was true. But it was more of an excuse I used.
Yeah.
Kasi ang dami nag-aalok sa akin, mga kaibigan ko, kapatid ko, uy, date mo naman si ganito, or I'll set you up like this. He said, no, it's okay, I'm still married.
It's amazing that despite yung struggle mo in the past, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, come on, if that was your struggle, then the expectation is, pag the opportunity presents itself, why settle for porn? Ikaw na lang yung porn star. Parang ganun. So, Kuya Ernie, I want to tell you this, because you are a living testament to all the men out there. One good news from our men's conference that I just heard last night. So we had an attender there who was really inspired and blessed by your challenge and your sharing. And he told me yesterday that, like you, ang dami din niyang addictions. When we first met, he was telling me about his addictions with alak and then cigarillo. And then this other meeting just last night, after the men's conference daw, pornography, wala na rin. So
Wow,
praise
that's
God.
great.
I mean, that
That's
is, something na, wow, he saw somebody like you na, okay, because of the grace of God, kayang ma-overcome to. And I think a lot of people out there need to accept God's grace rather than tanggapin ang ating kasalanan as the human race na parang, hindi, lalaki tayo, kaya wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Hindi, may magagawa sila dyan.
But what really helped me is I started to understand na ang hinahanap ko sa pornography is comfort and validation. Hinahanap ko yan sa pornography, hindi naman totoo yun.
Hindi. It's a false
It's
reality.
fake.
Yeah.
It's fake. It's like if you have sex with a prostitute, lolokohin mo ba sarili mo na mahal ka niyan?
Yeah, you can't pay them to love you.
They don't love you. They just want your money.
Yeah.
So
You pay them $5, say I love you.
So that's not real love. That's not what I'm really looking for. Hinahanap ko lang is the feeling and the release. Pero when I started thinking about it, who can give me love? Who can give me peace? And who can give me validation? It's only Jesus Christ.
Wala nang iba.
So actually, when people are addicted to porn, they're actually looking for Jesus. They just don't realize
In
it.
the wrong place.
They're looking in the wrong place. And the addiction kasi, it's the feeling. We're run by our bodies and we're run by our feelings, but our feelings aren't always correct, not always right. And it's like I devoted a lot of my life to triathlon for several years. I was a very serious triathlete, and to be a serious triathlete, like we were competing in Ironman triathlon, so that's 3.8K swim, 180-kilometer bike, and then 42.2K run, and you have to finish that in less than 17 hours, and that's straight. So when I committed myself to that, it took a lot of discipline, and you have to say no to a lot of things, and you have to say yes to a lot of pain. Kasi te-training ka, hindi naman masarap yan eh. I mean, there are endorphins. It feels good. But it's also hard and it's
Yes.
also painful. Sabay yan. Kailangan tanggihan mo. You have to sleep early. You have to say no to alcohol. You have to say no to bad food. If you want to win and you want to do well, may team ako. I was part of the Polo Tri team. In that team, we don't care about the other teams. We just want to beat each other in the team. So we had a community that was encouraging each other. If we didn't have that community, who will want to do this? Ang hirap. But we had this community where we encouraged each other.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. I actually made my teammates memorize that verse. Naintindihan nila. But it's like that, following the Lord. You have to say no to a lot of things if you want to be successful, and you want to move forward. So, in the same way that my triathlon teammates helped me in triathlon, I wouldn't survive without their encouragement. I also wouldn't be able to survive following the Lord na mag-isa.
Yeah. It's faith and actions. So talagang yung actions, samahan mo ng maraming disiplina, and then those things going hand in hand. And so right now, Kuya Ernie, kamusta ka naman ngayon? Of course, ang dami mong kinuwento sa grabe, napakakulay. Actually, napaka-dark. Maraming pangyayari. Pero today, like your family, kamusta naman sila? I think a lot of them know the Lord na rin.
I don't think they know the Lord maybe in exactly the same way I do. But like, I look at my sister Gina. I look at her life. I mean, parang she's the closest that I know to knowing a saint, in the Catholic sense. Kasi we're all naman saints. But siya, talagang, she devoted her life to loving God and loving your neighbor. That's obeying what Jesus said. Works don't save you, but I believe that she had faith in Jesus. Because, I would bring her I brought her to like the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington. I introduced her to my friends, and she agreed with everything we were saying. She didn't go to church the same way I did, but she was definitely obeying Jesus the way we were all supposed to.
So you're helping a lot with that foundation.
With the ABS Foundation. Well, my other sister's the one who's really running it now, Berta. And I just help her out.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, this heart for the mission field, and even, helping out the poor and children, this is something that I believe, we cannot produce on our own, this compassion. Na talagang it's something from God talaga, that if it wasn't for God, I don't know anyone who can do it on their own. I mean, maybe for a time, or it's either that or they're doing it for fame, validation, or whatever. Pero si Lord talaga, pag naranasan mo yung love niya, you just want to give it out there. And Kuya Ernie, before we end it already, I want to say thank you then, because one of our members in the church, hello Tita Beth, and she was sobrang eager to attend our men's conference. And I said, Tita, it's a men's conference. And she's, paulit-ulit siya, makulit siya. Sabi niya, magbabayad daw siya ng ticket. It's a men's conference. Pero pumayag ako once I learned why. And that is because you were one of the speakers. And then she claimed that because of Kuya Ernie, many, many years back, he came into their home, and then the whole family, nakakilala sa Lord because of you. So thank you so much of that. Thank you for doing that, because, I'm grateful that, Tita Beth is one of our active members, and I never knew that, but she told me, okay, definitely, I will make sure you two meet. And it's a great story of what happens when, a life that is touched by the Lord is also going to share it with others. You just never know who's out there.
Yeah. I need to answer your other question about you don't have to be a pastor. You asked that earlier. When I first came back to the Lord, I said, Lord, ano bang gusto mo gawin ko? Do you want me to do full-time Christian work again, be a missionary? And then it's like the Lord said, no, you stay there at ABS. That's your church now.
Yeah.
So, I tried to share my faith there in ABS. And then so we had Bible studies in my office.
There's the Christian fellowship then. That's
regular. My secretary came to know the Lord. She ended up marrying a pastor. And then, different people in the office started coming to know the Lord, and I was happy about that. And I'd share my faith in the office in a different way. I mean, did I ever tell you about Pastor Mike?
I think so, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he's a prophetic pastor, and he came to the office and he would tell the people in my office, you should stay in this company. Don't move to any other company. This is a good company. You should stay here. And I was like, why is he saying that? He's going around telling people that. And at that time, our company was about to be closed. We had 4 strikes against us. Strike 1 was I had just let go of like 30 employees to cut costs. Strike 2 was globally and locally publishing was dying. Strike 3 was a lot of employees were resigning because they said this is a sinking ship. And strike 4 was I heard from the grapevine the executive committee had already decided to shut down the company by the end of the year. But Pastor Mike was going around saying, no, you should stay here. And I'm like, does he know what's going on? And then by June of that year, we published a book called Stupid is Forever. It was a book by Miriam Defensor and basically talked about her jokes. It turned our company around. And we made more money in that year than all the years. Our company has been around for about 20, 30 years, but we had ups and downs. If you get all the good years together, we made more money in that 1 year than all of the good years put together.
Wow.
So that was one way of people in the office, even if they didn't attend the Bible study, they could see, this is how God works.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I wish we had more time, but there's so many stories and we'll just continue it in our lunch, off the record. Pero thank you very much. I wish I could offer you more than coffee and conversation.
No, that's fine.
And I was going to give you a ring, but you have too many rings now. Or is there space, Baba?
Pinkies.
Pinkies. And papala. That's another story too. Maybe when you have you back, we'll talk about that. But thank you so much. Any shout outs to people out there watching this?
Alam mo, this world can offer you money, women, pleasure, but it's not going to satisfy. I pursued all of those things, and I was not. It made me happy for a little while. Masaya ako. I'm not gonna deny that it didn't feel good, and I had a lot of times of happiness doing that. But pagdating ng bagyo ng buhay, wala eh. Sira-sira na talagang buhay ko. It's only the Lord who put my life back together. When the storms of life come, that's when I saw I needed the Lord.
So kayo din. And Kuya, if anyone wants to, tell you how they feel about today's episode, do you have any socials or want to invite them to follow?
My IG is Sprikitiks on IG. SPRIKITKS.
Thank you so much again sa lahat ng nanood at nakinig. Sana na na-bless kayo. My name is Jordan, saying only dead fish swim with the current. So lahat tayo, gaya ni Kuya Ernie, let's all go
against the flow.
Kontra mi sa sug, kutok yang agos. Laban ako sa agos. I go against the flow.